Hey everyone, and welcome! Today, we've teamed up with Alpha Constructions to tackle something that is absolutely critical if you're starting a new construction business, your very first contract. We're going to be pulling some key lessons from Nick Ganaway's Construction Business Management to help you sign on that dotted line feeling confident, not confused. So let's jump right in. This quote really hits the nail on the head. Every single project kicks off on a high note, right? Everyone's friendly, everyone's excited. But man, that good vibe can vanish the second a problem pops up. That's why a good contract isn't about expecting the worst. It's about creating a clear path to success, especially for when things don't go exactly as planned. So take a look at this number, 57%. That's a pretty sobering statistic. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, that's the percentage of new construction companies that fail within their first 4 years. And here's the real kicker. It's almost never because the work itself is bad. It's the business management side of things that trips people up. And almost all of that, from risk to disputes, traces right back to the contract. Okay, so to make sure your business is one of the ones that's built to last, we've laid out a little roadmap for this explainer. We're going to start with why the contract is your blueprint, then cover what you absolutely have to check before you sign. After that, we'll get into dealing with real-world surprises on the job, how to protect your profits, and we'll wrap it all up with the final handshake. All right, Section 1, the contract is your blueprint. Let's think about this for a second. You would never, ever build a house without a set of architectural plans, would you? Of course not. Well, your contract does the exact same thing for the whole project. It's not just some legal paperwork, it really is the foundation for everything else to come. The thing to really get in your head is that your contract is the ultimate rulebook. It's the single source of truth for the scope, the schedule, how you get paid, everything. A handshake deal might feel good and easy in the moment, but when a disagreement pops up about what was agreed on, that written document is the only thing that's going to have your back. And that leads us right into our second section, before you sign. Think of this as your homework phase. Getting this part right is going to save you so many headaches down the road. This question right here is so important. You might see a huge, flashy corporate logo, but the entity named in the contract could be what's called a hollow subsidiary. It's basically a shell company with no real money or assets. You have to verify the owner's exact corporate name and check out their financial stability. Why? Because you need to know that the company signing your checks actually has money in the bank to pay you. So this really boils down to 3 golden rules. First, like we said, always get it in writing. Second, if there are any weird or special terms, make sure they are spelled out in plain English. And third, please, for your first few contracts, get a construction lawyer to look it over. Trust me on this one. Paying a lawyer up front is a drop in the bucket compared to what it costs to hire one to clean up a messy dispute later. Okay, so you sign the contract, great. But we all know that construction happens out in the dirt and the mud, not just on a piece of paper. So Section 3 is all about navigating those real-world curveballs that your contract is designed to help you handle. Delays happen. It's just a fact of construction. But you need to know that not all delays are created equal. If the owner causes a delay, maybe they're slow to make decisions or you can't get on site, your contract should give you more time and cover your costs. But if the delay is your fault, you could be on the hook for the owner's damages, which often comes in the form of liquidated damages. That's a set amount of cash you pay for every single day you're late. Knowing the difference is huge. Now here's a term you've got to burn into your memory: constructive change. This one is tricky. It's when the owner does something or doesn't do something that forces you to do extra work, but they never give you a formal written change order. A great example is if the plans they gave you are flawed and you have to tear out and redo work. That's a constructive change, and you absolutely should be paid for it. Okay, picture this. You're digging a foundation and bam, you hit a massive underground boulder that wasn't on any of the plans. That's called a differing condition. Your contract needs a process for this, and you need to follow it like clockwork. Step 1, stop work right there. Don't be a hero and try to solve it on your own. Step 2, tell the owner immediately with a phone call and in writing. Step 3, document everything. Take photos, write notes, log the time. This is the only way you're going to get paid for that extra work. Now we get to what is maybe the most important section of all: protecting your payday. I want you to think of these next few clauses as your financial suit of armor. You're going to want to lean in for this one. These 3 should be totally non-negotiable for you. First, insurance. Make sure you get a certificate proving you're listed as an additional insured on the owner's policy.
Second, indemnification. This fancy word is all about who pays when something goes wrong. Make sure it's written so you're not on the hook for someone else's mistake. And third, governing law. The project should be governed by the laws in the state where you're actually building, not wherever the owner's fancy headquarters is.
All right, I need you to really focus on this one. Consequential damages. These are the indirect losses. So let's say your project is delayed and the owner says because of that, they lost millions in sales from their new store that couldn't open. These claims can be absolutely massive, totally unpredictable, and they can bankrupt you. As the book puts it, these claims are limited only by the owner's attorney's imagination.
And that is why your contract must, have a mutual waiver of consequential damages. It's a simple agreement where you and the owner both say you can't sue each other for these kinds of indirect, pie-in-the-sky losses. This is one of the biggest financial protections you can have. Do not, under any circumstances, sign a contract that doesn't have it. We're here. The final section, the final handshake. When you really understand and use your contract as a tool, you're not just finishing a project. You're building a strong, resilient business that's meant to last. So let's do a quick recap of your 5-point contract shield. 1. Know who you're really working for. 2. Understand who pays for delays. 3. Have a rock-solid process for differing conditions. 4. Make sure you're named as an additional insured. And number 5, the big one, always waive consequential damages. These are your non-negotiables.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Your contract really is the foundation of every single thing you do. So after everything we've talked about today, I want you to take a good, hard look at your agreements. Are they built on the solid rock of clear protections, or are they built on the shifting sands of ambiguity? Because the answer to that question is going to decide the future of your business. Thanks for watching.